in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob Torres. I'm with NACA Real Estate Department. On the call, I also have Mr. Jerome Washington. He's one of our seasoned in-house realtors out of the Philadelphia office. He's been with NACA, participating with the program for a little over 3 years, and since that time, he have closed close to 150 transactions with the NACA program. So he's going to be helping us out today. If you go to your go-to control panel and the questions, go ahead and type in your questions there. And Mr. Jerome Washington will be answering any questions that you guys might have. But if you guys could do me a great big favor, um, just keep your questions pertaining to the slide. I mean, we have a lot to go through. Just makes it a lot easier, organized. You know, your question could very well answer somebody else's questions as well, right? So if you could just pertain the questions directly to the slide, then go ahead and type it in, and Mr. Jerome Washington is going to be typing those questions for you. Again, my name is Rob Torres. I'm the National Real Estate Director for NACA. I've been with NACA for over 11 years, and I've closed maybe like 400 transactions with the NACA program. And we do this PowerPoint, we feel, and we do this every week, guys, every week. And you could come in as many as time as you want to, but every week between the hours of 12 and 2 p.m., the outside, the association with the outside real estate community is very vital to the program. Preparing someone for home ownership is more than just bank statements and pay stubs, is partnering up with seasoned mission-minded real estate agents that really want to help out a community, and that's who we want to partner up with. So today we're going to go over your participation with the NACA program, and how to close a home, with the NACA program, because I think it's very important. Not that the process is difficult; it's just a different process, and we want to make sure that you understand the difference, so this way it becomes easier for everyone, right? So that being said, we're going to go ahead and mosey on along. Now, just so that you know, with the system, we'll go to webinar. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with this system, but in order for you to receive credit, there's two things that needs to happen, right? One is that you have to stay for the entire workshop. Two, you have to be engaged, right? The system will automatically, it gives us the analytics. It lets us know who's engaged, who's paying attention, who's not. So if you're multitasking, during the call, then you might not get credit, right? And honestly, I'm hoping that you refrain from multitasking. Turn off turn on your out of the office replies in your emails. Turn off your phones. I mean, if you're on your phone, I guess that's inevitable. But if you're using a laptop, go ahead and remove all distractions. I think the information is extremely important, right? And what happens in these go-to webinars at times is that someone might call you, or you might receive an email. And then what happens is that you miss valuable information. And then the first point of contact is reaching the local office. And we all could agree that's not an easy bit. I mean, right now, we've been receiving a large volume of calls. One is because we're not working under normal circumstances. Most of the people are working out of their houses. That's one, right? Because of the pandemic. Two, we have the Achieve the Dream event, and we have like 6,000 to 7,000 people every single week attend these webinars. So we just getting an overwhelming amount of phone calls that it's really, really hard. Even Mr. Bruce Marks, I mean, I kid you not, he made a phone call and he was 88 in line. So he had to wait for 88 people before it gets to him. So, and what I found is that a lot of the questions that people have, the answers could be in this webinar. The answers could be in the material that we pass out. The answers could be in the website, right? And I find that 98% of the questions people have could be found in the materials that we passed out. And again, it's a lot quicker to go to the material that we have available for you guys rather than that phone call. The goal should be, how do we prevent that phone call to begin with, right? So if you look at your handouts, and we're going to go over this in a bit, there's the agent participation manual. This is, man, a checklist, step by step. You know, it tells you everything, how you guys participate with the program. It gives you registration instructions, upload instructions, contract to close instructions. I mean, it's very detailed. It will give you all the forms. And again, we're going to go over that in a bit. The other thing is that you can also download a copy of this PowerPoint. And if any of you guys are interested in becoming a NACA referral agent, you know, we do have the agreement there as well that you could upload. Okay, so please 100% engage. You know, I want to try to, as much as I can, you know, to avoid any frustrations from having you, you know, reaching out to the local office, okay? Because I know it hasn't been easy. I'm on the phone consistently helping people out. So, you know, I could totally understand, you know, the frustration of waiting 88 in line, right? So to avoid that, give me your 100% focus for this hour and a half to 2 hours. Download the material. And I think Mr. Bruce Marks is planning to come on the call to talk to you guys about the latest events coming up with the NACA program that I think is important for you guys to know about, you know, especially if you guys are planning, you know, to partner up with us, okay? First step first is who NACA is, right? We're not a down payment assistance program. So you could check that off the box. You know, we're not a government program. Check that one off the box. You know, we're a non-for-profit HUD certified organization. We're a counseling organization. We're probably the largest, in fact, we are the largest housing counseling organization here in the United States. We do more than 30% of the counseling. And our goal is to assist low, moderate income buyers, right? Our priority members. Our goal is to give them opportunity, to level the playing field, to give them opportunity of home ownership. Our second part mission is to stabilize neighborhoods, and we feel that we could do that through affordable mortgages. But we also a community advocacy group. You know, we're always fighting for economic justice, and again, we feel that we could do that through home ownership. So, you know, that's the big part of us. You know, we've been doing this for over 30 years. Mr. Bruce Marks, CEO founder, he will be getting on the call, but he established this organization, you know, to really give people the opportunity of becoming a homeowner. So as you can see, there's a lot of information we're going to go over, continue education, classes that you guys could take too. You know, the more informed you are, you know, the better this process is going to be for you guys, you know, because, you know, part of a real estate agent's job is to set the expectations, right? So if you do a very good job in setting those expectations, you know, the transaction is a lot smoother. So the more you know, the better it is. We are going to talk about the agents, your participation with the program, the agent portal, how to become a homeowner with the NACA program, the qualification letter, the housing search, you know, preparing an offer, right on down to contract to close. As you can see, it's going to be a lot. What we are going to be doing is at the end of the PowerPoint, we're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to go to the website and I'm going to do a demonstration on the website to show you how to upload your agreements and how to register with the program and the different features that we have available for you guys using that agent portal, right? So that's definitely what I'm going to do. I'm also going to do a demonstration on how to identify priority areas in the event if you're working with a non-priority member. Right. So again, please stay engaged. This way you get credit. You know, the system does let us know who's engaged, who's not. So in order to receive credit, two things, got to be engaged and you got to stay here for the entire workshop. Okay, guys? So this is what we have going on, and this is where we need your help with, right? You have members that you're working with that are in the process of getting qualified. And I just explained to you guys the overwhelming amount of phone calls that we're receiving. You know, one of the ways that, you know, we implemented, you know, one of the ways, the platforms that we have implemented to get the information out there, you know, sort of to try to minimize those phone calls are a few things, right? We have these webinars that we do every single week, guys. It's every single week that we have these webinars. So let's say you're working with someone who has a question. Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of somebody. I can't get my NAC ID number. I'm having issues with uploading my documents. I'm having issues with setting up an appointment, right? Those are the things that you tend to get, you know, from your members. right? Well, if you do come across that, then have the buyer go to the web file overview. That's every Monday at 6 p.m. Just have them go there. We got member services there. We give them detailed instructions on how to utilize the web file, how to upload those agreements. And if there are any challenges or technical support that your client needs, then we have that support system there. So again, NAC ID issues, upload issues, appointment issues, have them go to web file overview every Monday, 6 p.m. Right. The other thing is we have is called hand property qualification. So maybe right now you're currently under contract with a buyer and you're about to start the inspections and you have questions about the required inspections, the repairs, the renovation process, all that, right? So if you have any questions in regards to that, to eliminate the phone call at the front office, you could always go to the property qualification webinar. That's every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Again, questions with repairs, inspectors, contractors, and how to clear the hand department. You could go to property qualification hand webinar. That's every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Post qualification. That's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So if you have a question about monthly payment, priority areas, credit access, which is the loan application process, lender conditions, anything of that nature, right? You could go to our post qualification webinar. That's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Now, the other thing that we have here, so this way you don't got to wait the whole week, right, to come back to this training call. We have a YouTube channel. Man, I strongly recommend that you guys subscribe to that, right? That YouTube channel give you instructions, like video instructions on how to upload your agreements, how to upload your purchase and sales agreements. And they talk about hand department there, contact information of the various departments if you needed assistance, how to identify priority areas, and how to work with the NACA mortgage calculator. All the tools that you're going to need to know to represent your client, those videos could be found in the NACA Realtors YouTube channel. So all you need to do is go to YouTube, search for NACA Realtors. You'll see our logo, click on it, subscribe, because if there are any changes to the system, we're going to create that video to update you guys. So this is how you are able to stay consistently updated with the most recent information, rather than keep coming into this webinar. So please, highly strongly recommend that you guys go ahead and do that. Again, web file overview, property qualification, and post qualification. Right now, we have stopped the pre-qualification. In lieu of, what we're doing is we're creating a sort of like an event support where people could go into some type of go-to meeting or go-to webinar platform. We're going to have member services there. And this is going to be where your clients will be able to log in to get any of their questions answered. Now, real estate, right? And this is really important, especially for me, because it's not about me, it's about our clients, right? It's about our community. And NACA went out of its way to make this possible, for the buyer. And we want the buyer to be comfortable. I mean, this is a big decision, and sometimes the anxiety is there, and they have to trust the person that they're working with, honestly. And again, prepare for home ownership, right? Bank statements and pay stubs, but it's you guys. I mean, we're part of this. We're real estate agents. We're realtors. We have a huge role in this. Our goal is to be the GPS, right? The Uber, so to speak, to help navigate, the buyer through this process, to give them the keys to the car. I mean, that's our responsibility as agents. And, we want the buyer to feel comfortable, with their decision and the person that they're going to work with, because it is a big decision. And in order to make that decision, they have to be in the right frame of mind. So that trust is big. So the buyer is their choice. They can work with any agent that they want to. If they want to work with an outside agent, this is an agent that's outside of the network, right, of the NACA program. or they could work with someone that's within the network. We have in-house agents or referral agents, but that option is up for them. I mean, that's why many of you guys, I have over 130 people on this call. Many of you guys are on this call because you have members, clients that you're working with through this process, because it's their choice, not ours. Not ours, it's their choice. So if they want to work with an outside agent that's outside of the network, then we want the agent to attend this class, right? Because we want to give you detailed instructions on how to get access to an agent portal, right? Because the agent portal is going to allow you the ability to upload the buyer representations agreements. And that's a requirement. That's not an option. We need to see that. And it's the agreement that your broker provides. It's the buyer agency agreement, and it explains the duties of that you have to the client and vice versa. And it's that agreement that we will need to see, right? And you will need to upload that in your in your agent portal. And the reason why is because we want to include you in the conversations and the emails, and we will need something in writing from the buyer that basically says that you're representing them, right? So it's because of that agreement we're able to share information with you. So without that agreement, then we're not able to include you, and at the end of the day, it's just going to delay the process for the buyer, right? So it's important that you upload, and today we're going to give you the instructions to how to do that. In addition to that, I talked about the agent participation manual, right? And this is how the agent participation manual looks, right? So it's detailed, guys. I mean, it gives you everything. First point of contact should always be your agent participation manual. So before you reach out, you go to the agent participation manual. And if the question is not answered, or if you need a better understanding, that's when you go ahead and you reach out, right? And it gives you the instructions, upload instructions, referral agent requirements. So if any of you guys are interested in becoming a referral agent, which I'm going to talk to you about in a bit, it has the requirements there. It has the real estate training program and the links to real estate Quizlet training. Right, this is a new platform that we have implemented, to better, for you guys to better understand this process, so you could do an effective job. Right, we have the YouTube channel. There's the link there that you could just click on the link. It takes you directly there. Obviously, it gives you this training Tuesday between the hours of 12 and 2. And again, guys, that's every Tuesday. It gives you qualification financial form, eligible types, property types, ready to make an offer. All that information is here. The contract requirements, how to submit your contract, how to clear the hand department, which we're going to talk about in a bit. And it's got the 28-day contract to close timeline. So you know exactly what needs to be done. And what I like about it, it gives you all the forms that you guys are going to need, right? We did a survey on the lender conditions, right? And in 1 month, we have over 450 lender conditions in regards to the contact information of the real estate agents, right? So this form it's a required form that you need to submit with your purchase and sales agreements, and make sure you fill it out completely to avoid any unnecessary delays, because we have missing information. So if it's asking license, get it. Address, email, telephone number, to avoid appraisal delays, right? And this is, excuse me, what happened here? 1 second, guys, I'm sorry. To avoid appraisal delays, what we have here is the contact information. Sometimes, you might want us to call the seller directly, right? And what's been happening with the appraisal delays is that what we've been getting is the wrong contact information, and it's causing huge delays. So by filling out this form in its entirety, you eliminate, a good portion of the frustrations that you hear from the public. So please stay focused on that piece. In addition to that, right? Let me go here. We have the agent PowerPoint. This is the PowerPoint that we have here. Go ahead and make sure you can download it for future references. Everything we have here, along with the instructions. If you're a visual person, go ahead and download this. Now, referral agents, right? This is our referral agent contract, right? Just because you register with the NACA program, that doesn't make you a referral agent. Okay, guys, it doesn't make you a referral agent, right? It's signing the agreement. But in any case, as you can see, outside agent, we want to make sure that you got the support and all the materials that you're going to need to effectively, properly represent your buyers. Now, if the buyer is not working with an agent, then we have in-house agents that are exclusive to the NACA program. Their license is held under the NACA brokerage. And what we're looking for is experienced real estate agents, guys. I'm sorry, but we do a large volume of business, and we want to make sure that the agent has the ability to manage that volume without having any customer service issues. So we are looking for experienced real estate agents. If that's any of you guys, you can always go to our NACA website. It says join NACA. You click on that, you follow the prompts to house agent, and go ahead and apply online and upload your resume. Now, for those locations, now because of these webinars that we've been having, I mean, we're national now, and there are locations where we don't have an office. There are locations where we don't have an in-house agent, right? So we always looking for talent. So if you're in one of those locations, then this might be a great opportunity. As a referral agent opportunity that we have available. And in addition to those remote locations, we also have locations where our in-house agents are not able to meet the demand. Right. So if they're not able to meet the demand, then we always looking again for real estate agents that understands this process, that partner up with us, that we can feel confident in their ability to represent a client. Now, this is extremely important because it's a show me first. Show me first. Just like you wouldn't refer a contractor to a family member if you never seen the work of this contract. I highly doubt that you will refer that contractor to your family member, right? Because you want to see their work first. So it's the same thing here. Same thing here. If we refer you someone, we want to feel confident. In the past, we had buyers, horrible customer service. A few of them almost lost their earnest money, and they were really upset at us. How can you refer us this particular agent? So we're very particular. We want to see at least 3 NACA transactions before we refer you clients, right? You close 3, we're going to rate your customer service and your NACA knowledge. Based off on that, we sort of feel comfortable that we could refer you a client. Now, these clients been through the NACA process. They got their qualification letter. They're ready to begin their housing search. And, they're just looking for that real estate agent. They're looking for NACA to refer them to an agent, right? So if that's you, then and you're interested, you got to get the referral agent agreement signed by your broker, because basically what you're agreeing is to pay NACA a 35% referral fee. So again, if we refer you a client, then you pay NACA a 35% referral fee. Now, if you refer the person to the program, then there's no fees collected because that's your hard work. The fee is only applicable is when we refer you a client, right? Now, in addition to the 3 NACA transactions, then we also want you to take the NACA Quizlet training. Now, if you download the agent participation manual, there's a link there that will direct you to the Quizlet, right? And you have to join the class, so this way we can see your results. Right, so all you have to do is just click on the link. It says join class. You go ahead and join class, and then in fact, Jerome, do you have a link that you could go ahead and post on the chat, Jerome? I'm going to have Jerome go ahead and copy and paste the link into chat. So this way you guys could go ahead and join now.
Hey,
Hey,
Rob.
yes, sir.
I couldn't
Do
find
you?
the mute button on my screen. What's
Okay.
what's that?
I said, can you copy and paste the link to the Quizlet on the chat?
You know, I
And
did not have that one. Let me see. Save. Let me
uh,
make sure I
what
go
you
through
can
it.
do is download the agent participation manual, and
Mm-hmm.
under real estate training, the link is there. If you could just copy and paste it to chat, so this way people could go ahead and and register now to that. And guys, again, as soon as you go in, just click on join that join class, and that will register you to the class, and it will allow us to keep track of your scores. Thank you, Jerome. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Right. But again, guys, I know I spend a lot of time on this slide because I think it's really important. But your buyers, right? Is their choice. It's whoever they want to work with. They can work with an outside agent, inside agent, or referral agent. Again, outside agent is somebody that's outside of the network. We want you to go ahead and register to get access to that agent portal that we talked about, so you can upload your agreements, and we want you to download the training material so this way you can do an effective job of representing your clients. The other option is in-house agent. They're exclusive to the NACA program. We are looking for seasoned real estate agents. So if that's you, go ahead and apply online. Or if you want to become a referral agent, then go ahead and get the referral agent agreement executed. And again, that's on the handouts. And it's for any clients that we refer you that you agree to pay a 35% referral fee. So in order to receive referrals, we need to see 3 transactions, and we need to see the Quizlet training at least 80% and better. Now, your client list in your agent portal. Your client list is only for non-NACA members that you refer to the program. I'm going to say that again. It's only for non-NACA members that you refer to the program, right? And what is a non-NACA member? A non-NACA member is a person that never been to a home buyer workshop and they don't have a NACA ID number. That's the only way that you can add them to your client list. Now, you might come across with a buyer that already been through the process. They got their NACA ID number, they got their qualification letter, and they want to work with you as their real estate agent, which is perfectly fine. They work with whoever they want to work with. And guys, you don't owe NACA a referral fee, okay? That's your client, that's your commission, or whatever whatever agreement that you have with your broker, right? But again, it's their choice for who they want to work with, right? But those clients, you're not going to be able to add them to your client list. Now, we still want you to upload the agreements, upload the purchase sales contracts, but you're not going to be able to add them on the client list, right? And to add anyone to your client list, you got to get the buyer to sign off on the buyer representations agreements. That's the only way that you're going to get them to your client list. And you have to upload that prior to them attending the home buyer workshop. So this way there's no issues. Right. So if you have somebody in your client list, this is the way that you're going to be able to track their progress, because that client list is going to give you the ability to track them, to let you know what's going on with their process. And once they have become qualified, then obviously you'll get notified, and NACA will refer that person back to you. Right. So again, any non-NACA members that you refer to the program, you're going to be able to add them to your client list, and NACA will notify you once they become NACA qualified. So this way you could, begin with their housing search. To add someone to the client list, you have to upload that buyer representations agreements prior to the buyer attending a workshop. Now, there's 2 ways to upload this buyer representations agreements. Now, guys, I want you to know that this is a requirement for all agents, whether they're a referral agent, in-house agent, outside agents. All agents are required to upload the agreement. Again, we need something in writing to include you guys in the transaction. And the buyer representations agreements give NACA the written authority to include you, right? From the buyer, right? Signed, dated, right? And with these agreements, right, you're not able to charge any fees, right? Just like in-house agents, referral agents, you know, no agent is able to charge fees. They should be able to terminate at any time. They're not happy with your services, we can keep it moving. Same thing with in-house agents, referral agents. You know, if they're not happy, then they should be able to terminate upon written notification. Right now, to upload the agreements, there's two sections. One is new client submission, and the other one is the upload documents option. Right, the upload document options are for people that have NACA ID numbers. For clients that have NACA ID numbers, this is where you'll go ahead and upload the buyer representations agreements. Under new client submission, these are people that haven't been to a home buyer workshop and they don't have a NACA ID number. And what we use is the last 4 digits of the social security number. And again, I'm going to do a demonstration on that a little bit later on. And if you have any issues, IT issues, then you reach out to member services and this is their contact information. Now, let me tell you about these amazing terms of the NACA program. It's a conventional loan. So this is not FHA, it's not VA, this is a conventional loan. Again, a conventional loan through Bank of America. Bank of America funds this program. They've been partnering up with the NACA program. You know, they invested over $10 billion with the program. It's a fixed rate for the life of the loan, so it's not an adjustable. No perfect credits. No perfect credit score is required. So I mean, we don't even consider credit score. So we don't even look at that. You know, and everyone gets the same terms and conditions, meaning no down payment, no closing costs, no PMI, and we do have a renovation department where we can finance lender required repairs. You know, it's sort of like, you know, you find a foreclosure, missing an AC unit, you know, we have the ability to finance that cost to the loan. Now, when I say everyone gets the same terms and conditions, this is fantastic, guys. So it doesn't matter what your credit score is. So you can have a 580 credit score, and I believe today's interest rate is 2.625. Imagine that. So if your credit score is 580, you could get an interest rate of 2.625%. Everyone gets the same interest rate, regardless of your credit score. 100%, 100% financing. There's no down payment. There's no closing costs, and there's no PMI. Right? The lender actually pays for the cost of the loan. They even pay for an appraisal, which is an out-of-pocket cost, right? For the buyers, an upfront cost that they have to pay upfront. You know, with the lender pays for the appraisal. If you're in a state where it's required to have a survey in order to convey title, then the lender will pay for the survey. Application fees, origination fees, document fees, there's none. It's an amazing program to give people, you know, opportunity. Now, this is not a first-time homeowner program. Anyone could come through the program and obtain this loan under the same terms and conditions, right? So anyone, you just cannot own the property at the time of closing. So you have to sell your home in order to buy another one with the program, right? Well, owner occupancy, we do not tailor investors. You know, we want to stabilize neighborhoods, and we feel that we could do that through home ownership, not by investors. And we have a $25,000 security lien in place to protect us from these investors that disguise themselves as homeowners to take advantage of the low interest rate. That $25,000 security lien is not a repayment plan, so it's not anything that you have to pay back, right? So let's say if you're the member and you bought a home through NACA, you could sell that home at any time. It could be one day out. No, it's not, I know it's unrealistic, but it can be one day out. You sell it, whatever monies you make is your money. You keep it. It's your home. We'll go ahead and release that lien. If you refinance, then we'll go ahead and release that lien. Again, you don't pay back any monies. It's your house. You pay to a different lender. you do whatever you want to do with that house. If you pay it off, zero balance, no mortgage, then it's your house. We'll go ahead and remove that lien. Again, you don't pay NACA back any money. It's your home. You do whatever you want to do with it. Again, that lien is just strictly to enforce the integrity of the program. When you buy a home through NACA, it's for home ownership. It's not for investors. That's how we enforce it. Now, the buyer needs to do a volunteer act, meaning that they have to participate with the program. There's many ways they could do that, whether through testimony, spreading the word. But right now, what we need most help with is registering people to vote. That's huge. In our website, they can help us out with this. And I love what Mr. Bruce Marks, I don't know if he's on the call right now, but the one thing that he told me one time, he says, Rob, I'm not pro party, I'm pro policy. I really don't care, Republican, Democrat. I'm not trying to sway votes. I'm pro policies and the policies that affect the low moderate income buyer. We want to be able to level the playing field and give our low moderate income buyers the opportunity of home ownership. So we're thy brother's keepers, so to speak. Right. And the only way that we can achieve that is by changing the current policies that are in place right now. And we can only do that through voting. So we want to make sure that, it's an all hands on deck. We ask that you help us get the members to support us and help us get people to vote, right? Because the requirement to come through this program is to register to vote. Now, there are going to be certain exceptions. Maybe the person legally is not able to vote, then we could work with that, right? If the person, religious purposes, they're not able to vote, then we can work with that too. So there are going to be certain exceptions, to the rule. We'll still work with you. We'll still get you qualified. But my God, I mean, it's something that we really stand strong by is voting, right? So we definitely want people and highly encourage that they do so. Now, to qualify with the program, I mean, it's pretty much simple. I mean, stable income, no open judgments, no collections, no foreclosures within the past 2 years, 1 year on-time rent payment. NACA feels if you could pay rent, then you could pay a mortgage, and minimum required funds. I mean, there are going to be funds that the buyer will need to have in order to close. Now, this is really important here, guys, because NACA, and this is strong, right? Because we're not credit risk lending. It's not credit risk. So meaning that we don't look at your credit score. Outside normal traditional lending, that's what they look at. They look at your credit score to determine how credit worthy you are. High credit score, with NACA, we don't look at that. What we look at is a 2-year on-time payment history. That's what we're looking at. We're character-based lending, right? We feel that bad things happen to good people, whether if it's through a divorce, whether if it was a medical, whether if it's, I lost my job and, for a couple of months and I got behind. That doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make it, so there are going to be certain exceptions. So if you have a buyer, personal preference, maybe they feel, hey, I got this one little mark here and I don't feel like I'm ready now. That's irrelevant. I mean, you want them to come through this program because we can make exceptions. It's called compensating factors. And our mortgage counselors, they're advocates. So they're going to try to advocate to get the exception to get your client qualified. So no matter where they are in life, you want to make sure that they go through this program, the entire program, so we can help them out. Now, to do that, right, the first step, and this is, my God, this is so important, guys. Please, if you're going to pay attention to this, please pay attention to this because we need your help. We have these webinars, right, every Saturday. And we have the Achieve the Dream event every other weekend, right? And I'm going to talk to you about that in a few seconds, right? But the Home Buyer Workshop is a webinar, right? And just like how I explained to you guys, in order for you to receive credit, right, you need to be engaged, right? Because the system will let us know that you're engaged and you're paying attention, you're not multitasking, you're not doing emails, and you're not doing phone calls, right? That you really engage, right? And you have to stay for the entire workshop. So just like the members, same thing. They got to be engaged and they got to stay for the entire workshop to receive credit. And this is what's really important. At the end of the workshop, what we do is we give them a code. This code gives them access to go to NACA's website and complete an online home buyer attendance form. Once they have completed that form, the system will automatically generate a NACA ID number, right? And within that NACA ID number, will give them access to a web file that they're instructed to upload their documents. Once they completed that process, once they finish uploading their documents, then they'll be able to set up an appointment with the mortgage counselor, right? The problem is this, right? Is that code that we provide them at the end of the workshop expires within the hour. I'm gonna say that again, guys. That code we give them at the end of the workshop expires within the hour. So if that code expires, then they're not going to be able to complete the attendance form, and they will not get credit for the workshop. And the majority of the phone calls that we're getting is because people are missing valuable information. They're not getting that code. They're not getting the instructions. Maybe they got distracted and they wasn't able to listen to what the presenters say. So help us set that expectations. You know, tell your buyers, hey, you go to that home buyer workshop, I need you to focus because they're going to give you detailed instructions. If you miss those instructions, then it's going to be a difficult time for you. So please stay focused. And once you get that code, make sure you complete that attendance form within the hour. Within the hour. Once you've completed, then they're going to email you a NAC ID number, and there, they will give you instructions to register for your web file. Once they have their web file, they upload their documents, then you'll get your appointment with your mortgage counselor. So you don't have to make a phone call. You could just go within your web file and set up that appointment. Right? The other way that you can get your appointment is by registering to the Achieve the Dream event. Guys, we used to do these like a tour, like we go city to city, but now we're doing everything virtual because of the pandemic, and we're doing this every other weekend, and it's crazy. We got mortgage counselors, underwriters, regionals. I mean, everything. The goal is same day solutions. So you could actually see your mortgage counselor at the Achieve the Dream event, and they're going to go over all the information that you have uploaded, right, to determine how ready you are. They're going to go over an affordable monthly payment, right? And if they feel that you're ready for home ownership, that very same day, they're going to send your file to the underwriters for the qualification. So there's a possibility that you could get approved the same day. Now, this is every other week, and I think the next Achieve the Dream that's available is in October. So you can hurry up and get your buyers to register to that. So this way they will get that appointment with their mortgage counselor. Now, if they are not ready for home ownership, and what I love about NACA, if you don't qualify now, then we're going to show you what it takes to become NACA qualified, right? So we have this action plan is detailed. It'll let the buyer know exactly what they need to do in order to become NACA qualified. In addition to that action plan, they also get a follow-up appointment. Now, at times, what I find is there's buyers that want to get an early appointment, and those are very difficult and hard to come by. They have to stick to the appointment that's on that action plan. So once they become NACA qualified, and now this is great. So if this is a non-NACA member that you refer to the program, and you was able to add them to your client list. Remember, to add someone to your client list, you have to upload that agreement before the member attends a home buyer workshop, right? Before they have their NACA ID number, you need to upload that buyer representations agreements in your portal, right? Now, you'll get notified there because you see their NACA statuses. Now, the buyer, they will receive a text message saying that their NACA status changed to qualified. An email saying that their NACA status changed to qualified. They look at their web file, right? So now you know that they've become qualified. The next step for them is attending the purchase workshop. We do this every Thursday, one at 6 and one at 9. And during the event, we do it on Saturdays at 6 p.m. And we do it in Spanish as well. So Spanish is at 6 o'clock on Thursday and 6 o'clock on Saturday, right? So they have to register by going to NACA's website under live webinars. It says purchase workshop, and they could go ahead and they could register to that purchase workshop. Now, this is where they'll get their qualification financial letter. Right, this is where they'll get it, and they have to stay for the entire workshop and be engaged, guys. Right, especially this one. We also want to give them materials and instructions to give to you guys. Right, so they have to stay for the entire. We also give them access to contractor and inspectors. You know, we do have a courtesy list, and we go over the housing search and the contract to close timeline. Now, this is a copy of the qualification letter that they're going to get, right? The qualification letter is going to have the contact information of the mortgage counselor. So now you have their contact information, email, etc. Right? All that is in their NACA affordability form. Now, what this basically says, and this is powerful, as you can see, we don't call it a pre-qualification or pre-approval. We don't use pre. That's what normal traditional lending does, but that's only because the way they approve people is basically your credit score. And yeah, you probably submitted documents, but it's always, and you read the fine line, for the most part, this is not every lender, but for the most part, I would say 90% of the times, if you read it, it's always contingent on credit, income, asset by the underwriter. Meaning that, yeah, they pull credit, yeah, they receive the information, but the underwriter has yet received the information and verified to determine if the person qualified. That's why you hear the horror stories a week before closing, I got denied. Because typically that package gets sent to the lender a week before closing, and now they look at those taxes or they looked at the credit report, now they determine that the person doesn't qualify to buy the house. Now, what I love about NACA is that all that is done up front. This is a full-blown underwritten file, guys, meaning that we got their taxes, their pay stubs, their bank statements, we verified income, we verified rent. Again, these are underwriters that verified all the documents that the buyer submitted. So this is a full-blown underwritten file. So it's an approval, and yes, it's contingent on title. You know, that's the seller's ability to convey the home, right? Appraisal, value. You know, the lender is not going to lend you more than what the house is worth. It's contingent on inspections, right? I mean, you know, we have buyers that might not have the resources to replace a roof soon after they close. And of course, they have to maintain their financial statuses. Now, when we qualify someone, we do it based off on a monthly payment. Now, it is going to give you an estimated mortgage amount, but what we're looking at is that monthly payment. That monthly payment will determine the maximum loan amount, right? Because, I mean, I can have two different homes at $150,000 a piece and have two different monthly payments, right? Because taxes is different, insurance is different, and yes, interest, right? The lower the interest rate, the more purchase power. So we always go by that monthly payment. Now, the maximum mortgage amount that you see here is, again, it's just estimated. It's based off on the current interest rate of the time that the person got qualified, right? So the interest rate that you see here, that's a floating interest rate. You don't lock in the interest rate until we get an executed contract. And typically it takes 3 business days from that point on to lock in that rate. So if you have a buyer that might be unhappy with their their mortgage amount, you know, one of the ways that you could give them the flexibility is that interest rate buy down. You lower the interest rate, it increases their maximum mortgage amount. You lower that interest rate, it increases their maximum mortgage amount. Or it can have, vice versa. Maybe they don't, I got qualified for $1,300 a month, but, I want to qualify for $1,000 a month. I want to pay $1,000. Well, interest rate buy down will make that payment a lot more affordable. Now, you see here the maximum mortgage amount. Let me explain to you what that is. That's contract price plus the cost of renovations. That's your maximum mortgage amount. That's the most that you could qualify for. In most locations, if the person qualifies for that, right, because you have to qualify based off on your income, but the maximum mortgage amount will be $484,350 in most locations. In high cost areas, such like New York City, DC, places like that, you're looking at $726,525. Now it says that this expires in 6 months, and it says do not show agents. And the agents we're referencing to really for the most part is listing agents, because this has all their financial information, and all that would do is handicap your negotiations with the seller, right? If the seller knows how much money you have in the account, that's not something that you want to share, with the seller. But when we qualify someone, we to maintain your qualification, right? When we qualify someone, we go by their debt income ratio, right? I'm sure you guys heard the term, right? Depending, it's the amount of money you make compared to the amount of money you owe. And we also look at the savings pattern as well. That's how we determine that monthly payment. So if anything changes, then it throws off the numbers, and the buyer might not qualify for as much as what's listed in this qualification letter. So we want to encourage that they maintain. Now, this shows you their gross income, right? And this is important, guys, because of COVID, maybe they lost their job, they got the hours reduced, furlough. We're seeing all crazy types of things, So if anything changes, then it's important that you guys speak up now. Don't wait until you get under contract to find out that their gross income changed. That's going to be an issue. And there's going to be a whole lot of frustrations there. So make sure if it does change, speak up. This also shows you the total amount of debt they have and their monthly debt. And this is really important, right? They, they can eliminate debt, right? But they cannot add more than what they see here. Now, guys, we're going to verify all this later on. So, if they add more debt, then definitely it's going to be an issue. It's going to throw off the ratios, and they might not qualify for as much as you see listed on this approval letter. The other thing will be the payment shock. That's the difference between what they pay a month in rent and what they got qualified for, guys. What they pay a month in rent and what they qualify for. Maybe they pay a month $1,000 and they qualify for $1,500. Their payment shock will be $500. And that's a consistent savings pattern of every single month saving $500, every single month. It's got to be a consistent savings pattern. Now, it also shows you the minimum required funds, right? Property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA. They need money for inspections and evaluation. So it's really important that they have these funds to close. Now, your clients demonstrated, through their bank statements that they got the funds to close, and it's the reason why they got their qualification letter. Now, this is what makes us the best in America mortgage, is our interest rate buy down. This is second to none. We're regulated, we're licensed. You're not gonna beat this at all. Right, is our interest rate buy down feature, and it's an affordable. If you remember, if you got a client that wanted a more affordable monthly payment, or if you have a client that wants to increase their maximum mortgage amount, the interest rate buy down is how we do it. On a 15-year mortgage, 1% of the loan amount will reduce the interest rate by 0.5 point. On a 30-year mortgage, that same 1% of the loan amount will reduce the interest rate by 0.25 point. So let's talk about that. Let me paint the picture. $100,000 house, 30-year mortgage, $1,000, and to keep it for simple numbers, if the starting interest rate is 3%, that $1,000 will get you a 2.75% interest rate. $4,000 will reduce that interest rate to 2%. And guys, that's lock fixed for the life of the loan. Isn't that crazy? Now, many of you guys, well, the buyers, right? Many of them are saving a whole bunch of money, down payment, no closing costs, and no PMI. I mean, we all know that's an expensive cost monthly, for the buyer. So they don't have to pay that. So there's a lot of money, there's a lot of savings that we have a whole bunch of buyers putting money towards the interest rate buy down. The maximum that a buyer could put towards the interest rate buy down is 5%. 5%. Now, many of you guys are really good at negotiating, getting the seller to contribute towards closing costs. Well, with NACA, there is no closing costs. So whatever monies that we can negotiate from the seller, we want to use that money to buy down the interest rate even further. So in addition to your 5% that you can get from the buyer, the seller could contribute 10%. That's a total of 15%, guys. And you can get that interest rate all the way down to as little as 0.125%. And I've done that plenty of times. Now, if there are any grants that are out there that are available, right, whatever funds that we get from them is unlimited. We could use that to get it down to 0.125%. Atlanta, we have the Atlanta Housing Authority. Houston, we have the city of Houston giving 30 grand. Wish and Culinary Arts in Las Vegas is doing 20 grand. And House Charlotte, you could possibly get up to $17,000. Now, these are the locations where we have grants available for your buyers. Now, there are many locations where we don't have grants available. We need your help. We need the contact information of these grants. And I'll tell you why. The grants typically have a preferred lender list, right? They have a list of lenders that they work with, right? NACA wants to know is the requirements of what it's going to take in order for us to get added on that list so we can take advantage of these grants. Because the affordable housing crisis, and that's basically it, the values are increasing faster than the rate of the income. So yeah, people could qualify, but they're not qualifying for as much to live in their desired location. So we need to offset that, balance it out a little bit. That's why I love the interest rate buy down. So if you have any grants that are available, just don't give us the name of the grants, but we need the contact information. We need the decision makers so we can reach out to them and see what it's going to take. So make sure you email that to grants@naca.com or services@naca.com. Now let's talk about priority, non-priority, right? This is important. A priority member is a low moderate income buyer. What determines a low moderate income buyer determines, is based off on the median income for the location where the buyer would like to purchase, right? So every location, that median income is going to be different. I believe the one in Atlanta, we're looking at $82,200, right? So if I make less than $82,200, then I'm considered a priority member. I'm a low moderate income buyer. There are no restrictions, and I'm pretty much good to go purchase no matter where I want to purchase. Now, if I make more, then I'm considered non-priority, and I'm restricted to buy in priority areas. And basically what we're looking for is the median income for that neighborhood. If it's below 100%, it's considered a priority area. So if I'm non-priority, I gotta buy in priority areas. Now we use this geo map, and you can find this at the NACA's website. On the purchase program, you scroll down to who's eligible. It says non-priority. There's a link right below it. You click on the link, and you can either search by neighborhood or you can search by address. The census demographic data box will pop up. So the two boxes that you want to look at is the third box and the sixth box down. The third box will let you know what the median income is for that location. That's important, because if you make less than that, then you don't got to worry about this. This is not applicable, right? But if you make more than what the third box is, then you have to look at the sixth box down. Anything below 100% is a priority area. So it's got to be 99.9999 and below. That's considered a priority area. Right? And this is, again, strictly for non-priority. Non-priority will have to buy in priority areas. Now, you want your client to make sure that they go ahead and update their documents. Always email. I'm sorry, Jerome. I'm going too fast. Always upload. Don't email, because if you email, it gets to the mortgage counselors. And if the mortgage counselor is not around, right? PTO, vacation, maybe quarantine because of COVID, no one's going to know that there's a document in the file that needs to be processed. So we always want to encourage our buyers to upload their documents into their web file. So important. Now, I'm not going to go too much in details, because what I want you guys to do is make sure you upload the agent participation manual, right? And this is the requirements for each property you can find there. But yes, we could buy new construction, existing properties, foreclosures. Remember, we got the renovation department that could finance lender required repairs, right? And short sales. Now, we know that short sale is not a short sale, it's really a long sale, or it could be a no sale, but that's one of the opportunities. We're just not able to move forward, right? Unless if we have the approval letter from the lender, agreeing to the terms and conditions of the sale. Now, all properties, you need a home inspection, right? And if the seller's going to do the repairs, that has to be done prior to closing, right? And we do have to factor the HOA part of their monthly payment, which can't be an issue with condominiums, right? Because they have high HOA, right? So, we do factor in the HOA. So it's always good to make sure you utilize the NACA mortgage calculator, right? To determine if the buyer qualifies, factor in the HOA and the taxes. Now, condominiums, if you download the agent participation manual, there's requirements, but also there's a condo questionnaire. That's got to be executed no later than 5 days from executed contract. You want to make sure that you get that piece done right away, right? Because not all condominiums are going to qualify with the program. We want to review their financial, because that's what we're looking at is their financials. Every HOA, they have an operating budget, and we want to make sure that they have enough money in the reserves to handle the next 12 months. Right? Because if they don't have the funds, then that could put your client, they put them in a position where, the HOA fees might get increased, right, to cover the difference, and it might be a problem with them paying their mortgage on time. So we want to make sure that we look at their financials to see the stability of that HOA. We want to see more homeowners than renters, right? So there is a criteria. Again, download the agent participation manual to get the condo questionnaire, and it has to be filled out by the HOA. Now, it's negotiable who's going to pay for it. I like to have the seller to do it because they could do it a lot quicker, and it could be where it's included part of their monthly dues that they already pay. So it'll be easier. Now, multifamily homes, this is another way that you can increase that maximum mortgage amount, right? This is another way, right? Besides the interest rate buy down, property type, multifamily homes, you can increase that maximum mortgage amount. You got a buyer, I got to live in this particular area, but the single family homes, the prices are, extremely expensive, and they're not able to afford it, but they might be able to afford a multifamily home in that area because NACA uses 75% of the rent as income, so they qualify for more. 75% of the rent as income, so they qualify for more, but they have to be a live-in landlord. That's the thing, live-in landlord. Live in one of the units, lease out the other. There's a class that they have to take, as proof, because it is a business. We want to set them up for success, right? And there's additional funds that they need to save in order to purchase a multifamily home. So not everyone might not have the assets to purchase a multifamily home. Make sure your buyer reaches out to the mortgage counselor to see if that's a possibility. Flood zones, NACA does reserves the right to reject any properties that are located in the flood zone, right? Now, this is really important, guys. your approval letters. And I mentioned earlier today is that, man, you got to upload those agreements. 9 out of 10 times the phone calls that I'm getting from buyers and from agents saying, hey, we're not able to print up the letter. It's because the agent has yet uploaded that buyer representation agreements. And you remember I mentioned earlier, right? This is your company, like NACA. We don't have a separate agreement. This is an agreement that's coming directly from your broker. Every broker has an agreement that they have with their clients. That's the one that we need you to upload. And if you upload that correctly, then the buyer will be able to go into their web file and print up the letter that you need. All they'll need is address, uh, contract price, monthly estimated costs for property taxes and insurance, uh, and providing that they're qualified within the current interest rate, then the system will generate the letter for you to submit the offer. But again, you got to upload that buyer representations agreements in order for that to happen. Now, if the buyer needs the buy down to qualify, remember, you lower the interest rate, you increase your maximum mortgage amount. So if they need that buy down to qualify to buy the house, then there is a process, right? There's a form that needs to be filled out. If you download the agent participation manual, the form is there, right? Fill it out completely, email it to your mortgage counselor. Within 24 hours, they will go ahead and print up that letter. And again, they'll only be able to print up the letter is if you have uploaded that agreement. Now, for contracts, 40 days. 40 days for a home with no major repairs. That's 40 days from binding agreement. That's the goal. Make sure you use your COVID addendums, guys, because I've been experiencing a whole bunch of delays because of COVID. Whether the seller, unfortunately, quarantine, getting access to homes, inspections, that sort of thing, it hasn't been an easy bit for us. So, NACA is not going to be held responsible, for paying any per diems, because of these delays. They won't do it. NACA won't be responsible for it. In fact, we had the hand department, a couple of people tested positive, and we had to shut down the office, and for a week. And I kid you not, it was a very frustrating job for everybody. I'm glad that everybody, is still working now. Everything is okay now. They're back up to speed, but these are the unexpected delays that you guys have to prepare yourselves for, right? And for properties that are or having repairs that need repairs, you plan to do a renovation, you're looking at anywhere between 45 to 60 days to close. Anywhere between 45 to 60 days to close, right? You want to make sure you make it contingent on financing and the appraisal. God forbid if your buyer loses their job because of COVID, that they don't lose their earnest money. Contingent on condo, grant approval, inspections. We do accept e-signatures, so that's fine. But just as long as that we got the certificate of authenticity, then we should be good with that. We take possession at the day of closing. Minimum 10 days to do the inspections, and we must close with NACA's offices at using NACA's approved settlement agents. So it has to be, again, NACA's approved settlement agent. Your client will have a list that they could give you, right? Or you could reach out to the office administrator, office director, and they could give you a list of those vendors, right? Approved settlement agents, right? We want the 10 days to do the inspections. That's the due diligence period, option period, that sort of thing. Now, if you remember, we give your client a list of a courtesy list of inspectors and contractors at the purchase workshop. Yeah, they can use whoever they want to use. You just want to make sure that they're registered. And it's always good to get them to register first, right? To avoid frustration, don't do a home inspection with an inspector that hasn't yet completed the registration process. I promise you, it's going to cause a delay. Go ahead and execute an extension because it's going to delay, right? We want to do these inspections within 2 days. We all could agree that inspections could cause a delay in closing. And for the most part, for us, it causes most of the delays in closing is the inspections. We're not completing the inspections in a timely fashion. NACA would not let the buyer complete their loan application without an inspection in the file. So they have to complete that inspection. So it's always good to get the list, have your buyer reach out to the people on the list, determine which one they're going to use so they can work fast once they have identified the property. Right? We want to do a termite inspection, septic, well, above ground pools, all that needs to be inspected. Remember, our clients, through the NACA program, many of them might not have the resources, right, to replace a roof soon after they close. So we're looking at affordability issues, right? Code, safety, health, all that's going to be required. Your client has to be at the inspections, right? And the utilities need to be on, right? How do we know if the water leak is, how do we know if there's a water leak if the water's not on, right? So they have to be in attendance. Once the home inspector completes the inspection report, what they're going to do is they're going to upload that report to the hand department. The hand department, we have rehab specialists at the hand department that are going to review the inspection report, and they're going to determine what repairs are going to be recommended and which one's going to be required. So they're going to email you a repair list, right? Recommended, it's optional, it's not required. If it's required, it must be addressed, whether the seller's going to do it or the buyer is going to do it, if they're going to make it into a renovation. And if they're going to do that, make sure they write out those estimates. I mean, you show an inspector $5,000, most likely that bid is going to come back right at $5,000. So you want to make sure that you write out those estimates, because NACA will use the estimates from a licensed contractor. So if you get a licensed contractor that goes out to the property and says, Rob, here's what's wrong with it. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. And this is how much I could do all this repair for $2,000. That's what NACA is going to use, is the $2,000. Now, this is just worst case scenarios. Now, I mean, you could use this as part of your negotiations now with the seller, right? You could use it to have them reduce the price of the house, or maybe give monies to be held at escrows to cover the cost of the repairs after closing. Or what I like is, give me the money, let me use it to buy down my interest rate, because that's going to give my client more of an affordability. It's going to give them more of an affordable mortgage. So give me that interest rate buy down, and I'll just go ahead and get the contractor bids and finance the cost into the loan. Now, if you're looking to waive any repairs, any waivers must be like an evaluation of a licensed contractor, right? If you're trying to waive a repair, it has to come from an evaluation. So the contractor needs to go out there, look at it, let us know what's wrong with it, let us know how much, right? And the member will work with the rehab specialist to determine if that repair could be waived, because there are exceptions, maybe, and it really depends on the amount of money that I have available. I mean, if I got 40 grand and the total cost of these required repairs are 2,000, then they might make the exception to waive those repairs. Now, to clear the hand department, right, if the seller's going to do it, right, then we need a reinspection, right? We need it done by a licensed trade person. So we want to make sure that we got invoices. And again, everything needs to be in writing and uploaded to the member's web file. So if you do that reinspection, it passes, NACA will just go ahead and clear the file. Now, with new construction, a home inspection is not required, but that's only because the lender will accept the certificate of occupancy, the CO, which basically says that during the phase of construction that the home passed all inspections. So in lieu of the inspection report, the lender will accept the CO, the certificate of occupancy. Now, you're not able to add any upgrades after you sign off on the loan application. And you have to complete a final walkthrough. You want to make sure that you're 100% happy. Now, if the buyer's going to do a rehab, right, then we need to know how much. So your buyer will need to secure these contractor bids, right? That's all we need, is how much right? Now, the cost could be finance, pay out of pocket, either by the seller or the buyer, or it could be any combination of three. Just as long as that the cost doesn't exceed 110% of the appraised value, and it doesn't exceed the member's maximum mortgage amount. Remember, maximum mortgage amount is contract price. The cost of renovations cannot exceed their maximum mortgage amount. Now, this is really important, guys. Right? We want to make sure that all property related conditions are addressed within 15 days, 15 days prior to close. So if the seller's going to do the repairs, they got to complete it 15 days prior to close. If it's not completed, then there's a seller delay because it's going to cause a delay in closing. So we need you to push that seller to make sure that they do their piece on time. Same thing with the builder, right? Hey, you want us to close, you got to give us 15 days from once the house is 100% complete. Within that 15 days, right, once the house is 100% complete, we got the CO, then it's going to take NACA 15 days to close from that point on. So if they don't do that, then that's a builder delay. The member, we need to secure those bids, the contractor bids, 15 days prior to close. If they take a longer than that, then that's a member delay. So you want to make sure that you want to clear the hand department 15 days prior to close. That's going to give you the better opportunity to close on time. If there's a delay in that, then it most likely is going to delay the closing. So I think it's important that you start trying to get that extension now. Don't wait a week before closing. You already know 2 weeks in advance if you're going to close on time. Now, I strongly suggest that everybody takes this property qualification webinar. Take a picture of it, please. And this is the contact information for the people at the hand department. We have rehab specialists there. We have hand relations coordinators and vendor coordinators there. That's your team. Their job is to try to streamline this process and give you a clear understanding of what it takes to clear the hand department. Now, your loan application, guys. This is really big. This is one of the man, if you want to know if you're closing on time, this is a good indicator right here, right? And this is what we've been experiencing. I mentioned earlier about the interest rate, how it's floating, right? So it's always subject to change, just like gas prices. You don't lock in the gas price until you start pumping the gas, right? Well, with the NACA program, with the interest, you don't lock in the interest rate until we get an executed copy of the contract, right? And typically it takes 3 business days for us to generate the loan estimates, right? And the loan estimates is what's actually locks in that rate, is the loan estimates. That's what locks in your interest rate, right? And what's been happening is that we have agents and members, what they're doing is they emailing the contracts to the mortgage counselors. And man, it's been very frustrating because it's not a quick turnaround. And there's been many times where I hear the frustration of someone reaching out to the local office and come to find out that the mortgage counselor is no longer available. And no one knew that there was a contract that needed to be processed and an interest rate that needed to be locked. No one knew. 7 days later, the interest rate jumped. And it's unfortunate that you're stuck at the higher interest rate. You lose money that way. And you can lose a deal because the buyer no longer qualifies at the higher interest rate. Seen that plenty of time, guys. When you upload that purchase and sales agreement, right, it goes on a report that the regionals, these are higher upper management and the office directors, they're monitoring this report to make sure that all contracts are processed within 24 hours, right? So if you don't upload it, then it's not being managed. You want to make sure that it's being managed. Because within 24 hours, we'll process the contract, lock in the rate. Not only that, that's where we ordered the appraisal. So it's so important. And there's instructions. There's a video instruction online that you can look at. We have the agent participation manual. so you can see the instructions there. So please, guys, just follow those instructions in its detail to ensure that we go ahead and we lock in that rate, okay? Because we have a credit access process, and that's just basically a fancy name where it's a process with the underwriters, NACA underwriters. We want to review all their financial documents to determine that they maintain their qualification, and we want to make sure that the person actually qualifies to buy the house, right? So it goes through underwriting once again, because we want to make sure. Now it's important because 95% of the files that go to the lender closes. And the reason why is that we do a thorough job on the front end, so we don't have any issues on the back end, right? The files that don't close is typically because of the appraisal, repairs, title issues, that sort of thing. It's rarely the financial ability of the buyer to purchase the house, because we do a very good job at this piece to determine that they do qualify to buy the house. So there's a process to that. The buyer needs their appointment. As soon as they go on the contract, within 3 business days, they get their appointment. Right? That could be a phone appointment, a go-to meeting appointment, or better yet, I don't need an appointment. Just give me a list of documents that I need to update, because we want to make sure that the buyer is maintaining their qualification, right? So the documents pretty much that they're going to need will be the most recent 30-day pay stubs. We want to make sure that nothing changed with their gross income. 90 days of bank statements. We want to make sure that they still got the funds to close. Interest rate buy down money, right? Canceled checks, rent. We want to make sure they're paying their rent on time. Alternative credit, right? That's the on-time payment history, right? We want to make sure that they've been paying their bills on time. Updated credit card statements. We want to make sure that the buyer didn't add more debt to what they had when they got qualified. So we want to send everything to underwriter 5 to 7 days from once you have uploaded that agreement. So important, guys. So the goal is to do loan application in 10 days, right? Typically, it takes the lender 25 days to close from that point on. Right. So if your buyer took 20 days to do the loan application, then here you are 25 days to close from the lender. You're looking at a 45-day closing, which is not so bad, guys. I mean, if you look at FHA guidelines, of closing times, it's 47 days. So, we're still there, right? We're still there. And it's important that, if something changes, then, what NACA typically does is they reach out to you to see if you can secure more time to extend the closing. If we feel that there's a fighting chance, sometimes life, happens. And, with NACA, we're advocators. So if their buyer's financial circumstances change, then we're going to fight tooth and nail in order to get the deal done. But that turnaround time takes time, right? So, and that's going to delay the closing. So we'll come to you. We'll let you know, hey, we're struggling. This is what's going on. We need more days. We feel that we could do it. Now it'll be your job to try to secure that extension. Now, if it's a denial, then we'll just go ahead and email you the denial, because we don't want the buyer to lose their money. Right? But we're advocates. I'm sure that's what you want us to do, fight tooth and nail to get the deal done. Now, for statuses, right? Because I know you're going to ask, well, how do we know where we are in the process, Rob? Well, there's different ways that you can manage that, right? One, if the person is in their client list, then you guys are going to get the statuses directly from the lender, just like the member does, right? They got the web file. The web file is the same statuses that they get directly from the lender. It's no longer coming from NACA. This is directly from Bank of America. You're going to get your statuses. The buyer is going to get their lender conditions directly from the lender. Everything is posted in the member's web file. Closing disclosures, appraisals, loan commitment letter, all that could be found in the member's web file. So that's one of the ways that you can get statuses of where you are in the process. The other way, besides the mortgage counselor, we have the mortgage department. This is their contact information. Guys, take a screenshot of this, because this is so important. This is their contact information and their email, their operations of hours. We definitely don't want to have anyone, if there's an escalation, we got an escalation process. And, what's awesome is this. This is one of the things I don't know if Mr. Bruce Marks is going to come on the call. I hope he does. But he's, is that you, Mr. Marks?
Hey, Rob.
Beautiful.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. So let me just finish this bit, a thought, and
Sure.
all right. So what Mr. Marks did, he opened the line of communications between the mortgage counselors and Bank of America underwriters and processors, right? Because we want to find a way how we could quickly overcome challenges or conditions or explanation of conditions and have a clear understanding of what it takes to clear that condition. So he opened the line so a mortgage counselor can actually pick up the phone and speak to an underwriter to get it resolved quicker. So, Mr. Marks did everything in his power. We have the best in America mortgage. That's without a doubt. We were put to the test, but we also wanted to become the fastest in the industry on the back end. So there's a whole bunch of things. And these are all recent changes that we implemented because we recognized that things needed to be tweaked, and we're 100% committed to making the best process in America as well. So I'm leaving off like that, Mr. Marks. I'm sorry, I get a little long-winded sometimes. Guys, this is CEO Mr. Bruce Marks. Over 30 years doing this. Economic justice. Leveling the playing field for the low moderate income buyers. He's the one that spearheaded everything. So Mr. Marks is all yours, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. Everybody, you're in great hands with Rob. So I'm just going to add just a few things, but just to reinforce what Rob has said. So one thing, just to talk about the enhancements that we've done. The enhancements, we've made big changes because we are determined, as Rob said, to make this not just the best mortgage in America, but the most streamlined and fastest process. So just in the last week, let me tell you what we've done. We've done it where we send a link to the insurance companies to get their data straight where they input it into our system. So we get the insurance the declaration letter very early in the process. We send a link to the employer for them to put their data into our system so that we can get the employment verification early. We send a link to the landlord for them to put their information about the tenant, the NACA member who is purchasing, into our system so that we can address rental verification early. All this stuff allows us to close loans within 30 days, 28 days of the executed purchase and sale contract. And so, yes, when Rob says it's the best mortgage in America, factually, it's the best mortgage in America because we are a regulated mortgage broker, nonprofit, and we're scrutinized. And when we say it's the best mortgage in America, the regulators say, prove it. And we have. So there's nothing out there like this. And we focus on low, moderate income and minority home buyers. We overcome the 4 major roadblocks to home ownership. Number 1, the need for significant savings, NACA solution, no down payment, no closing costs. Unaffordable terms, NACA solution, below market fixed rate. As Rob said, today's rate is 2.625 for 30, 2.125 for a 15. That's just unbelievable. And you can buy down the interest rate to virtually 0%. Restrictive underwriting, and you're seeing that now with the lenders. They've really ratcheted up based on a higher credit score. NACA solution, character-based lending, not based on someone's credit score. So we have not changed our underwriting. Actually, it's even a bit more flexible. And the last is racism and biases. So when someone is NACA qualified, that makes them a very desirable customer for you, the real estate agent, for sellers who you're working with, and for the lenders where virtually every loan we submit is approved. So we got it. We got it. And you can do purchase rehab, new construction, existing, 1 to 4 families. You know, you can get the property specific letter 24/7 straight from the member's web file. We, as Rob said, we are in direct communication with the Bank of America's underwriter and their processor. It's there. We got this. So, you know, it's really important that we work very closely with the real estate community. And so that's why we do these every week. That's why Rob does it. I get on. I just want to reinforce it as the founder and CEO of this amazing company. And we're growing because we're doing everything virtual now. You know, this means that we are licensed in virtually every state in the country, and it will be every state by the end of the month. So people are, you know, contacting us and going through us in South Dakota and West Virginia, not to mention Georgia and other places. So, you know, we're everywhere now, and the word has gotten out because we don't do any marketing. It's just word of mouth. And frankly, we're full through October. We're still, you know, pushing people in, you know, where we can have the available slots, but, you know, we're hiring people. Actually, we're hiring now housing counselors who will work from home permanently so that, you know, to meet the demand out there. And, you know, we're also hiring real estate agents, in-house real estate agents, IHAs. But, you know, there's plenty of business to go around for IHAs, for referral agents who we would prefer clients to, and to outside agents. So everybody, I just wanted to say these few words. You know, continue to work with NACA, continue to work with Rob. He can answer all of your questions, everybody. But thank you. We understand you guys got a tough job out there, you know, with the pandemic. So you got to stay safe, and we got to keep moving forward. And that's what we're doing. And we hope to work with all of you guys as well. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Rob. Keep
Yes,
going.
sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Marks. Appreciate you. All right.
Okay, take care. Okay.
So guys, so once you have completed the loan estimates, right? Like I mentioned earlier, that's when we ordered the appraisal. That usually happens 3 business days from once you have uploaded that agreement. So it's so vital to make sure you fill out that transaction form in its entirety, right? Because we do ask for a good contact information for the appraiser to schedule that appointment. And that's one of the biggest delays that we have is we're not getting the right information, the wrong contact information. So please take your time filling out that transaction form because that's the information that we give to the appraiser so he knows who to call to set up the appointment. Now, the appraisals, they come 4 ways. As is value, the way you see is the way you get it. But what's most importantly, so it's so important that you look at that appraiser because at times it's subject to repairs. And if there's any repairs listed on the appraisal report, they have to be addressed. That's one of the reasons why we require the home inspection, right? Because typically what happens is that the repairs that are posted in the appraisal have already been addressed from the inspection report, right? We also have a subject to completion. This is for new construction. So it don't have to be 100% ready for us to order the appraisal. We could do a subject to completion. So if there's a subject to repair or a subject to completion, then we need to do the final, which is the 1004D. Now, the initial appraisal usually takes 7 to 10 business days to complete. The final usually takes like about 4 business days for that to complete. Now, once the files have been all addressed, all lender conditions have been addressed, and we got hand clearance, right? Remember, hand clearance 15 days prior to close, right? So we have all conditions addressed. Typically, it takes the lender 3 business days to review the file, right? Now, what they can either do is they can either come back with conditions or they could come back with an approved clear to close. right? And if they do come back with the approved clear to close, then they will go ahead and generate the closing disclosures and post it in the members web file. The closing disclosures will let you know the close date, the amount of money that the buyer would need to bring at closing, and the final interest rate, right? So all that would be posted in the closing disclosures, and I highly encourage that the buyer go ahead and work with the mortgage counselor in the event if they have any questions in regards to the accuracy of the numbers that they've seen in the closing disclosures. But at the day of closing, you want to make sure that you do the walkthrough. If there's any issues that you experience, again, reach out to the hand department and they'll be more than happy to help you with that piece, right? But it's important that you do that final walkthrough the day of closing. Remember, it has to be at NACA offices using NACA approved settlements agents. Now, there are locations where, because of the pandemic, we are doing them remotely. So, just work with the closing attorneys and they will give you further instructions on that. But again, it has to be with an approved settlement agent, and your local office will have the list of vendors, the list of approved agents that they can give you. So this way, when you negotiate your contract, you want to make sure that you put that in. Now, this is your contract to close timeline. Again, it's found in the agent participation manual. But this is good, guys. This is your checklist. I see so many people lost, and they make that phone call. But man, just go to that agent participation manual and let you know where you are, right? It's a checklist, right? And if it's not moving, right, then, it's good to monitor it, in a timely fashion. Every day you look at it to make sure that it's moving. And if it's not, then you reach out to the appropriate parties and, you try to get that resolved, right? The quicker we get those resolved earlier, the better chances that we have to close on time. Now, the real estate department, that's me, guys, and this is what I'm going to do on the chat. I'm going to give you my contact information. My name is Robert Torres, and my email address is roberttorres@nacared.com, and my phone number is 404-867-2791. All right, so I went ahead and put that in there. And if you look on the chat, the Quizlet training class is there. Guys, just make sure that you click join class, okay? That's so important. Join class. And this will be great because you can actually show your client the results of the test that you take at Quizlet. That's going to give them the confidence in your ability to represent them with the NACA program. I mean, you kidding me? If my agent showed me a NACA training class and you passed 95%, I like you. You took the extra effort to help me with this process. That's how you develop trust. It's a great way to do it, guys. Take that Quizlet training, right? But this is my contact information. Now, there's going to be certain things that I'm able to do. There's going to be certain things that I'm not able to do, okay? So let's talk about that, right? One will be real estate advice, negotiations, things of that nature. I'm not able to help you with that, guys. I can't. Every broker has a policy, and I definitely don't want to advise you, that is against your company's policy. Now I will have your broker giving me a call and saying, "Hey, what's going on?" Right? I'm not able to give you real estate advice. And giving real estate advice is practicing real estate. And I don't have a license in your state. I don't want any legal issues. So I'm not able to help you with anything that's real estate pertaining, again, for legal purposes, I want to stay out of that, right? Where you are in the process, the mortgage department, I'm not able to go into someone's file and tell you what's going on. I can't do that, right? You have the office administrator, the office director, mortgage counselor, and you have the mortgage department, right? They're all there to help you with that piece, right? Those are the people that you need to call. Now, if you have your agent participation manual, it will give you the contact information for everyone, right? So I cannot give you early appointments. I get people calling me up. hey, I need an early appointment. I'm not able to do that for you guys, okay? I'm not, right? IT issues, like if you have any issues uploading, then I'm not, I can only give you instructions. I'm not IT, so if you have any issues with uploading, then it will be a good thing that you reach out to the member services. And again, you download that agent participation manual, and it will have all that all that information there. So make sure you do that, guys. Okay, but that's the person that you call, right? And your first point of contact before you call me should always will be the agent participation manual and the YouTube channel, right? Help me help you, right? Because I really want, the time that I have is I really want to help out people that really they really need it, right? I get a lot of people calling me and say, hey Rob, I took the class, but I don't know how to upload my buyer representations agreement. Right? And I'm like, man, that information could be found in the agent participation manual. So everything should be within that. Now, if you done that and you did the YouTube channel and you calling me up and hey, I need a better understanding of something, then go ahead. Give me a call. I want to help out. Because it's not really about you. It's about the community that I serve. I want them to be a homeowner. I want them to have a great experience. And I have to use you in order to accomplish that. So yeah, you could call me, for things like that, but I need you to do your part to help me out so I can help out as many as people as possible. Do your homework first before you reach out to me. And again, I'll be more than happy to help you. This is my operations of hours between 8:30 and 5:30 p.m. And again, you could take this class, multiple times to make sure that you have a good understanding of what it takes to close a home through NACA. We already talked about the agent participation manual. Let's talk about the soliciting policy, right? You're not able to use NACA's name, logo on anything. That could be a legal issue. We had agents go around, I'm NACA certified, I'm NACA approved, I'm NACA qualified. We don't do that. We don't want to be held responsible for that. We had an agent do it, NACA certified, and now the buyer lost their earnest money. Now they're mad at NACA because how can we certify this agent? Right? And that's no. We can't be held responsible for that. So that could definitely be an issue. Now, let's say that you close the home through the NACA program and you're doing the testimony and hey, I love this NACA process. It's awesome. You could do that. I'm not saying that you can't, spread the word around. I'm just saying that you cannot advertise or mislead the public like you're a NACA referral agent, NACA qualified. I looked at this one person who's a NACA. I'm a NACA referral agent, and she's not a referral agent. She didn't sign the agreement. It can't be that way because, we can't be held responsible and liable. So it is a legal matter. So, please, you could always advertise the terms like 100% financing, no down payment, no closing costs. Ask me how. That's a great way you can advertise that, right? Get the person to sign off on a buyer representation agreement. You upload it prior to them you upload it prior to them attending a workshop and you add them to your client list. But that's going to be the best way to do it. Now, there are going to be certain exceptions where you guys can come to the office, for closings, that sort of thing. But make sure you don't wear your name badge, right? If you do go to these webinars, don't solicit. Don't be like, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Don't do that, guys, because that could put us in an uncomfortable position, right? Because we want to protect the integrity of the referral. You guys spend a lot of money on collecting these leads that when you refer them to the program, I'm sure that you don't want another agent there soliciting your clients. And in order to protect the integrity of that referral, we've known where, the agent, because they knowingly violated the policy, that they're no longer able to participate with the NACA program. So please, guys, it's important to make money, but how you make it is that much more important. And our workshops are not a place where you could lead generate. Not a lead generation source for you guys. You know, that's a workshop full of homeowners, and we have to respect the outside agent community business. Okay. Thank you for that. And this is the contact information. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you're not mad at me for that. But this is the contact information. The mortgage department, member services, the hand department. Go ahead and take a screenshot. Let me go ahead and do the website demonstration. Right. First, I want to show you how to get to the YouTube channel. What's this? Jerome, can you copy the link to the YouTube channel on the chat for me, please? Jerome Washington is going to go ahead and add that to the chat, right? But this is it right here. You click on the logo, subscribe to it. Remember, guys, we're going to include you in notifications when something changes, because we want to make sure that you update it with the most recent changes. But this gives you instruction videos on how to identify priority areas, NACA mortgage calculator, how to register, right? How to upload your purchase and sales agreements. As you can see, the hand department, the contact information for the various departments, all that's posted in this YouTube channel. Man, go ahead and subscribe to it. Okay, guys, subscribe to it. I promise you it's going to help make this process a lot easier for you. So go to NACA's website. You go to vendors, right? Don't go to web file, because that's for the members. This is a member web file. It's not for real estate agents, right? This is for vendors. So you go to vendors, you scroll down to real estate agent, and this gives you two options, right? If you haven't registered with us before, you just go ahead and not registered. Information, company name, email address, password, and press submit. I mean, you create your own password. It's beautiful. It's easy. It's not difficult, right? If you're already registered, your username will always be your email address that you use to register with the program. That will always be it. Now, if you forget your password, all you need to do is click on reset my password. The system will automatically generate a temporary password, and it will email it to your email account. Right? It will email it to your email account. So you copy and paste that, and you log in. Now, if you need to change any information, right, you just go on the change profile. Their company name, email, password, whatever it is, you could go ahead and you can change that information there. Now, to upload your buyer representation agreements, right? There's two options that I mentioned before: new client submission and upload documents. New client submissions is for non-NACA members only. Non-NACA members only. Remember, a NACA member is a person that never been to a home buyer workshop and they don't have a NACA ID number. They're new to the program. So we use new client submission, and we use their the last 4 digits of the social security number as the identifier, and we upload. Terminate, yes, at any time. That's just a reminder. Seller pays all costs. That means that the seller is paying for the real estate commissions and you're not charging any fees, right? That's what that means. And you go ahead and upload, right? If you're currently working with a NACA member, they sort you out. Upload documents, scroll down to rep agreement, NACA ID number, first 3 persons of the last name, and boom. Now, the problem that I've been having is that agents are quick and fast. So when we give them the instructions, you know, they're not, I think they're doing it too fast. And what they're doing is they're working with this buyer that has a NACA ID number, and they're going here to upload that agreement. And it's not hitting the system because we don't want it to create duplicates. Right? This is new to NACA. It's a non-NACA member. Right? So you'll need to go to upload documents, rep agreement, and this is where you'll go ahead and upload that information. Same thing with your purchase and sales agreements. This is where you upload your purchase and sales agreements. And guys, the video, the instructions are right here in the NACA Realtors. So please make sure that you go through it. And if you want to upload amendments, that sort of thing, we have other documents. You go to other documents, NACA ID number, under addendum tabs. This is where you go ahead and you upload your amendments. All right, we need a copy of the MLS, escrow deposit. All that information is here, guys. So this is where you go ahead and upload all your documents, to your mortgage counselor. This is where you do it. You upload all that information here. Right, you see, it's that simple. It's not difficult. Again, all this is in the YouTube channel. Right. So let's look at identifying priority areas. You go to purchase program. Scroll down to who's eligible. Right. Go to B, non-priority. Right, and you click on the census tract. Again, people do it fast and they don't read. Right, just give you the instructions. Right, you input the property address. The census demographic data box will pop up. 6 box down, anything below 100 is a priority area, right? The third box will show you the median income for that location. Oops, here, let me show you how to do that. So you click on proceed. Go ahead and you put in the address. Search. The census demographic data will pop up, as you can see. You click on that. Right. Third box is the median income. Right. If I make more, right, I'm non-priority. Right. If I make more, I got to look at the 6 box down. Anything below 100 is a priority area. Now, if I make less than that, there are no restrictions, right? It's not applicable. I don't got to worry about this. This is strictly for non-priority members because they have to buy in priority areas, and we use the census tract to determine what those areas are. Now, you can search by address, but you can also search by neighborhood. Click on census demographic data box. That will pop up. 6 box down. Anything below 100% is a priority area. As you can see, this particular address falls into a priority area. And if I qualify, I could purchase up to the conforming loan limits. And it's that simple, guys. So this is what I'm going to do. We got time. I'm going to go ahead and maybe answer some questions that you guys might have, right? But this is how we're going to do it, guys. I really need your help, right? We have close to 150 people on this call. Can you believe that? Close to 150 people on this call. So for the sake of time, what I've noticed is we've been having members attend these workshops as well. But let this opportunity be strictly for real estate agents, guys, because this is so important. This is their process. I want to make sure that they do a very good job to represent the clients that are going through this program. So this is strictly for agents, right? Those are the people that I want to answer the questions, right? And what I want you to do is I want you to raise your hand, right? And if you see the microphone icon, if it's red, that means you're muted. If it's green, you just have to click on it. So when I call your name, you just have to click on the microphone. But this is what I want you guys to do for the sake of time, right? 2 things. One is I want you to pay attention to the question. Right? So if I call someone, all focus on that question, right? Because that could be the same question you have, right? So you'll get that answer. And if it does answer your question, drop down your hand so I could go ahead and go on to the next. Okay? But listen to that question, guys, because for the sake of time, again, it's 150 people on this call, and I want to make sure that I get to everybody. I want everybody's questions answered, okay? But I need your help. The other thing that I would like for you to do as well is you could go to questions, right? Type in your questions, Mr. Jerome Washington would be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So if he answers your question, go ahead and drop down your hand. Okay, guys? So we have Dana, Diana.
Diana?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Dinah
Centreville?
Santaella.
Yep. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm so sorry, can you very quickly go back to how you find the priority areas? I
Yes.
blinked and I missed it.
Okay. So you go to NACA's website, purchase program. Scroll down to who's eligible. Non-priority member. Click on the link. Read the instructions, because you could find it, but you need to read the instructions, right? Type in the address. Census demographic data box will pop up. 6 box down. Anything below 100 is a priority area. The 3rd box down will let you know what the median income is for that location. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, ma'am. You have a blessed day. We have Vita Faulkner Elliott. Vita, how are you?
Had a couple of questions. Suppose a client rented for numerous years and currently they're living with family, they're, relocated. Is that a problem with the 12-month rental history?
No, because we just look at the payment shock. Then they'll have to save the rent, right? As if they were paying rent, right? So they have to just save the money. So it's called payment shock. So if there's no rent, then just as long as that they can prove that they can make the payment, then then we should be good with that. So that could be anywhere between 6 months to a year.
Okay, yeah, they have plenty of rental history. They've been renting for like probably 10 years. It's just that they relocated from one state to the other and are living with relatives right now. The other question I had a member who had been qualified over a year ago. Would they have to go through the whole process again?
Yes, absolutely. And I think you will want them to do that too. And I'll tell you the reason why.
Okay.
Right now we're in the pandemic, correct? And every time you go out to show a house, there's a risk. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's the reason why. You want to make sure that they maintain the qualification. They were approved a year ago. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're approved now. They should be able to go into their web file, upload their documents, and get their appointments. Now, the web file could show them how to get the appointment, right? But here's another way how your buyers could get the appointment. Are you looking at my screen, Miss Vita?
Yes.
Are you still with me, ma'am? Okay. So this is the NACA's.
Can use that web file.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. They go into their web file, upload all their financial documents, right? And then they set their appointment. They could do it through their web file, or they could sign up for the Achieve the Dream event, right? This is this right here. The Achieve the Dream event, we have mortgage counselors and underwriters working from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock at night. And we're looking for same-day solutions, either the approval letter or the action plan, which is, detailed blow by blow on the things that they need to do to become NACA qualified. That's your same-day solutions. So either or, they're going to know where they are, right? And they will have to attend this Achieve the Dream event. I believe the next available is October 25th, and we have a whole bunch available in November. So this is where they can set up their appointment, guys. So after you upload their agreement, right, they will need to attend the home buyer workshop, right? That's the next step for them, right? So they will need to register. To register, they just go ahead and click on here, and these are the available dates for the home buyer workshop. Once they completed the home buyer workshop, right, I'm going to explain this again. they get a code. That code expires within the hour. So they will need to complete that home buyer attendance form. Once they've completed the form within the hour, then the system will generate an email, send it to your buyer. In the email will be NACA ID number and the instructions to upload their documents into the web file. Again, once they completed that, then they set up the appointment. I highly encourage that they sign up for the Achieve the Dream event. The Achieve the Dream event is the best way to get that appointment a lot earlier. And again, underwriters, mortgage counselors, working from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock at night, same day solutions, either a qualified buyer or an action plan. They're the things that they need to do in order to become NACA qualified. Thank you so much, ma'am. We have Mel Kenyon. Mel, how are you today, sir?
I am well, sir. How about yourself?
Fantastic.
I didn't have my hand raised. I didn't think. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Good. Now, guys, remember, if I already answered the question, go ahead and kindly put your hands down. For the sake of time, I want to make sure that I get to everybody. Tanita Ehlers, Tanita Ehlers.
Hi, this is Tanita Allers.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
Fantastic.
Good. And I did put several questions in there, and Jerome had answered many of them. There were just two I wanted to go back to. The first one, do you suggest that we read the manual first before registering for the Quizlet training, or we can just go ahead and do that and just sort of take the classes or take the questions as we go?
No, I think you could just do the Quizlet training and definitely use the manual as a cross-reference. I mean,
Okay.
either way, I mean, this is just another formal way you can learn, and if you want to
Right.
be a referral agent, right, we want to make sure that we see those results.
Okay. Well, I'm new to the industry, so I have a little ways to go before I can do that, but this is something I am considering. My
That's
other
awesome.
question, I saw your last screen about
Let
the,
me say this. I'm sorry, let me say this because you're new,
yes,
right?
yes,
Being new doesn't make you not qualified, right? Because what we look at is heart, right? And effort. That's the only thing that we could gauge on is effort and attitude and a willingness to learn. And if that's you, then listen, we want to work with you. So we have so many people that have years of experience. They got their license for 10 years, but they probably only closed one house. That don't make them experience, right?
correct.
So I just want to make sure that you kind of understood that, because in order for us to meet our goals in preparing people for home ownership, is the quality, is the heart of the agents. That's what's going to make it. Because all this is teachable. It's easy. It's not rocket science.
Absolutely.
So if that's you, man, we look forward to it.
Okay, great. Good to
I'm
know.
sorry.
No problem. And my last question that I have, it goes back to your no solicitation
Yes, ma'am.
slide. Again, being new, but I'm also not so much to solicit, but one thing I want to do is just share information with many people who may think that they're unable to become homeowners. So one of the things I'm looking at is just sharing information. Again, not to share information to say, oh, please, call me. That would be great. But again, share information and you can still go with someone else So with that, I've been using social media, but again, is it illegal for me to share information regarding the NACA program on my website?
I mean, sharing
information.
information is not a problem. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with sharing information, but this is just my advice to you, right? If you're looking to build your brand and build you and build leads and use social media to lead generate, because that's what most agents are doing, especially now because of the pandemic, there's more online shoppers than ever before, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right. So, I mean, you can share information you want to, but that's not going to help you build you. That's not going to help you lead generate, right? Because
Exactly.
now you give me the information. Great. Thank you. Bye. I'm going to use somebody else.
Right.
So,
And I'm
so,
okay with that.
so,
I'm just,
well,
again, I want to
well,
inform.
this is just a, yeah, but this is a person that's got 15 years experience and over 400 transactions under his belt, right? What I would do if I was you is advertise the terms. Advertise that 100% financing, no down payment, no closing costs. Let me show you how. Every advertisement has to have a call to action, right? This would be a great opportunity for you to do that and build your pipeline. I think that will be more effective, for you to do rather than just sharing the information. But that's my opinion. You could do whatever you want to do. That's just my opinion.
Okay, awesome. Great.
Thank you so much.
much.
You have a blessed day.
You too.
We have Kevin Govia. Guys, remember, if I answer the question, go ahead and put your hands down, okay? Kevin? Going once? Going twice? Martha Campbell? Martha Campbell? Martha Campbell, you're unmuted. So you're self-muted. You got to click on the microphone. And if it's green, that means you're unmuted. Martha? Nope. We have Gail Roberts. Gail Roberts, how are you today,
Hi,
ma'am?
yes, I'm
Yes.
good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, given the pandemic situation and some people are currently furloughed, how is NACA handling that? Are they allowing people that say have 1099 income that's not their usual W-2 income? Are they allowing that along with maybe unemployment for a certain amount of time, or what's happening with that situation?
That's a good question, and I'm not sure, and I don't want to give you bad answers. So I will have the buyer reach out and speak to the mortgage counselor, have that conversation. That does affect the gross income. I think in the past they made it an exception on unemployment income coming in, where they were able to make the adjustments for that. But I don't think I think they put a stop to that, but I'm not really too sure. So I really don't want to answer that question and give you misinformation. Have your client reach out to the mortgage counselor during their intake. When they have the appointment with their mortgage counselor, they could go over that piece. Just make sure they make them aware of that, so this way it's not an issue later on. Okay?
Okay, so you mean in the initial counseling session?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
Great
Thank
question.
you.
Thank you so much, Gail. All right. Louis Burnett. Louis Burnett.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Loud and clear.
Okay. Yes. I'm actually not a new agent, but I am a qualified NACA member, and I was in the last seminar with Jerome Washington in regards to the post qualification in order to get my letters and everything. So I heard something about grants in regards to you can get grants if you can find information on it or look for them. So I was interested in that. And I did also email services@naca.com in regards to the questions about the grants. And I also emailed grants at naca.com in regards to them. And I haven't yet
What's
got
your
a
question, sir?
response.
What's your question?
What grants do they have available and how can I apply in regards to NACA?
So it's not calling grants at NACA.com. Grants at NACA.com or services at NACA.com is for any grants that you identify that NACA might be able to reach out to them, right? So grants have a preferred lender list. Every grant has a preferred lender list. You know what that is, sir?
No.
Okay, a preferred lender list is a list of lenders that the grants work with, whether if it's Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, they have their own group of lenders that they work with, right? And the grants are only available if you work through their lenders.
Okay.
Right? So they have their own list. So what NACA needs to find out is what is it going to take for NACA to get added on that list, so this way you'll be able to gain access to those funds.
Okay.
Because we need to get approved, right? So to find out if there's grants available and how you apply, you just reach out to your mortgage counselor. and they could tell you if there's a grant available in your location. What location you calling me from, sir?
I'm in Michigan.
So Michigan, yeah, I'm not too sure if we have a grant available in Michigan, but you could speak to the people there, your mortgage counselor, and they can let you know. If you're working with the IHA. I think we have Sean Thomas, and we also have Tracy Hiran. So they're in-house agents. So if you're working with an in-house agent, they can definitely let you know if there's any grants available there. If not, then you have to do some research. Get us the name of the organization and the shot callers. I mean, the decision makers. Quite often people just gives us the name of the organization and that's it. We need more help than that. We actually need the decision makers. And once you give us that contact information, then we can immediately reach out to them to see what it's going to take to be added to their preferred lender list. Does that make sense, Louis? Perfect. Thank you so much, Louis. I appreciate you, sir. We have ReShawna Osgood. ReShawna Osgood, how are
Hello.
you?
Can
Yes,
you hear
ma'am.
me? So I am an agent, and I always work with clients who look into the program, and I'm looking into being a referral agent. But they always ask the question to me, if they go through the program, how long will they have to stay in the house with NACA? Like some of them are going through the program for their first time home, and they know it's not going to be their forever home. So are there any stipulations on how long they have to stay before they can sell?
No. They could sell the next day if they want to. Now, in order for them to buy another home through NACA, they have to wait 3 years to come back.
Okay. I thought I heard it earlier. I just wanted to make sure.
No problem. Thank you so much, Shana. Bye-bye. We have Jesse Singh. Jesse Singh, how are you today, sir?
Hi, I'm well. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
So I'm actually new to this program. My client found it, and he did the workshop, and then he already has the NACA ID. And so what the two questions that I had, and I'm in Houston, Texas, is once they have the NACA ID, and I'll upload our buyer representation agreement, do they already get assigned to a mortgage counselor?
No.
Okay. So how do we get that process started?
They need to set up an appointment.
Okay, so they will be the ones.
Yeah, once they set up an appointment, as they get closer to that appointment, then the file will be assigned to a counselor. But right now, we don't know who it is. I mean, the next scheduled appointment at the local office, I mean, you might be looking in December right now. Right. So why assign a counselor now that might not be the one in December? Does that make sense?
That does. I think my client was just, he was a little bit confused because he's thinking that we can go ahead and put an offer on a property, and I attended the meeting. Yeah. So I'm thinking, I think we're really behind on that. So.
No. So what I would suggest that he do, can you see my screen? I will have that person registered to the event, because they'll probably get a quicker response then. Go NACA's website, the event. The next available is in October 25th, and that's if he acts quick, right? Because they're going by pretty fast. There, he'll be able to talk to a mortgage counselor, and good possibility if he has everything, it will get submitted to the underwriter for approval.
Okay, perfect. So we will wait.
Yes,
okay, because then there are a bunch of other questions that I think it doesn't really pertain, because he wanted to know if there was a limit on seller contribution, but if he doesn't even have a mortgage counselor yet, then we're pretty behind.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Jesse. Yeah, you could, the seller's contribution is 10%. That's the max. The buyer's contribution is 5%.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and all that information, Jesse, is located in the agent participation manual. So make sure you download that, okay, please. Wayne Tate, you're self-muted, sir. All you need to do is click on the microphone icon and unmute yourself. Wayne, okay, I answered his question. Perfect. Renee Lockhart. Renee Lockhart. Renee Lockhart.
I'm here.
How are you?
Hello, I'm
Yes, ma'am.
fine. The question
Thank
I have is, once we complete this training, right?
Uh-huh.
When do we actually, and then get our broker to sign the referral agent, and we complete some of the classes in the what you told us about, to go online and complete those classes. Is that when we could be a part of this program as a realtor agent?
No, you could be a part of this program at any time. The referral agent agreement is only if you would like to receive referrals through the NACA program.
Right, but we can still stay with our broker, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect. But the broker has to sign the form, and then we upload it? Or
No,
we
you email it. Yeah, you email it to red@naca.com.
Okay, perfect.
And you have to complete the other requirements, right?
Yes.
Close 3 deals, right? And you got to pass the Quizlet, right?
Right.
80% and better. Okay, perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
All right,
you
bye.
too. Bye.
We have Fran Pierce Taylor. Fran Pierce Taylor, you're self-muted. Okay. We have Elizabeth Poole. Elizabeth Poole, how are you?
Hello,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering, as far as like the agency agreements go, and I just put this question in chat too, but what if we switch brokerages while we're registered?
Okay, so then you just go into your agent portal, and can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, so you log into your agent portal. Your username will be your email address. You log in, and you see where it says change profile?
Uh-huh.
You click on that, and then you just give us your correct information, and the system will automatically change it.
But won't I have to update the
Yes.
buyer agreements with clients too?
Absolutely, that's absolutely. So you just go into upload documents, rep agreement, NAC ID number, 3 letters of the person's last name, and upload
Oh, okay.
the most recent, buyer representations agreement. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye. We have Deborah Boiling. Deborah Bowling. We have Deborah, excuse me, Camille Sumption. Camille Sumption. Now, guys, you're unmuted. So all you have to do is just click on the microphone. All right. So if I answer your question, perfect.
Deborah Bowling.
Yes, there you go, Deborah. How are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm sorry. Greetings from Boston, Massachusetts. I have 2 questions. One is the first, well, actually, both of them are regarding the PSAL that we include with our offer contracts. Most people are not familiar with the NACA product. And considering that most listing brokers are used to the traditional pre-approval letter, and that's what they have exposure to and feel comfortable with, when they receive our NACA PSAL, first of all, it's foreign to them. And secondly, there is no information on that form that specifically says who is the lender. So
That's not
since
true.
you have
That's not true.
it says Bank of America.
That's not true. Yeah, it does. That's not true.
Then
Everything you said is completely not true. I don't know if you ever seen a PSL before, but it's detailed. It gives you the price, the address, the interest rate, just like anywhere else does. And if you read the verbiage, it says that the file is underwritten, credit, income, asset approved by an underwriter, right? And it's getting funded through Bank of America. Everything is there. So I don't know if you've seen a PSL before, but everything is there. So and maybe I don't know, but there's so many other lenders out there, brokers that are out there that people never heard of either. So NACA is just one in the many. Now in Boston, guess what? Our national offices are located in Boston. The NACA program was created in Boston. We have a name in the Boston market. So I'm not, I think, it will be important, just like any offer that you submit to the lender, whether if it's coming from a broker or from a brand name lender. I mean, it's up to us to, definitely let the listing agent know where your buyer is in the process, right? I think that's important.
I do say, I do say, with all due respect, I do say, because they say, oh, well, what is NACA? And so then I just do a little short, piece in terms of what's NACA, and then I just say, well, all of this is underwritten.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there because I don't think the listing agent cares. I think the listing agent only cares is the buyer's ability to buy the house. They don't care. They want to make sure that they got a strong deal. They don't want to have to, reach out to the listing agent a week before closing and saying that we're not closing. So there's a lot of pressure there. So, whenever I explain a letter, I let them know where the buyer is at. Let me tell you what they did to get this approval.
Correct. So that's what I mean when I go into, I say, oh, my client has submitted all of their numbers. They've had their insurance, calculated. They've had their property insurance, the property taxes, etc. So that's what I meant when I had shared. I give them the NACA background. But I can't say, and I've been into the NACA office a gazillion times and met Bruce and the different office managers. I can't say in Boston proper, you are correct that the NACA is, well known. But as you get out into the suburbs where a lot of people now can't afford Boston and they're getting pushed out to the suburbs, it's not as well known. So there is, I've got to be honest with you, there is an element in terms of there, that listing broker is comparing my stuff with stuff from Citizens Bank, from Santander Bank, from B of A, actually,
Well,
and that listing broker also, that listing broker also has to go back to the seller. So the listing broker has to be comfortable enough that they can share with the seller about what is the mortgage product for this particular application. And most of the listing brokers aren't familiar. I asked the question on chat. I am asking you now, can you folks look at this with the possibility, how you have the NACA logo on the PSAL, can you put the B of A logo on that as well? So the listing agent can say, oh, okay, I don't know NACA, but I know B of A.
No, what you can
and have
do,
that same conversation.
no, what you can do is you can list Bank of America in your purchase and sales agreements. I always put Bank of America / NACA. That's what I always do. And just because you don't get a deal accepted doesn't always mean that it's because it's a NACA deal. Well, they didn't accept this deal because it's a NACA deal, right? Because it's multiple offer situations at many times. So there's other lenders that had qualification letters that look snazzy, right? But they didn't get accepted as well. Terms and conditions, the best deal always gets the deal done. But I always put in my contracts Bank of America / NACA. And if you look at the it's called PSL, not PASL, it's PSL, property specific letter, right? It says Bank of America right on it. So I just don't, and I'll know, hey, if we could put a logo in there, Bank of America, maybe, but, NACA is NACA, and NACA came up with the terms and the conditions of what it takes to get qualified. Bank of America is only lending the money. That's it. They're just funding it. Yeah, we
Right.
complete a loan application and we send it to Bank of America, but Bank of America processors and underwriters, they're not underwriting. There's no underwriting involved. All they're doing is they're making sure that they have a complete package and they're making sure that we're lending according to the terms and the conditions of our contract. That's why you got a NACA approval letter, because it's NACA underwriters that are approving the file, and Bank of America is lending the money. That's all they're doing. They're financing the organization, right? And it
Right.
helps meet with their CRA credits, right? So,
Right.
so I mean, it says Bank of America there, and yeah, you're gonna win some and you're gonna lose some. And we do appreciate you, partnering up with the NACA program. As agents that know what they're doing out there, that's really what we're looking to partner up with. And I hope that you continue to do it, Deborah. Thank you so much, man. We have Pandora Davis. Pandora Davis. Pandora Davis. Going once, going twice. Corey Weinstock. Corey Weinstock. Going once.
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. I didn't think you was gonna get to me today, but
I'm
I'm
telling you,
glad you did.
I'm gonna get to everybody. I'm gonna get to
All right.
everybody. All right, come
All
on,
right.
Corey.
Cool.
Talk to me.
Hey, well, I'm a real estate agent. I work for Keller Williams, here in South Carolina. I actually got wind of the NACA program from one of the agents in our office. She told me to look into it because I have so many people. I promise I probably have like 30 people that I'm talking to about this NACA program and telling them, hey, the workshop is every Saturday from 5 to 9. Me and I'm actually helping my father right now go through the program. We sat through it Saturday together and got his NACA ID number. The thing that's confusing to me is me working with Keller Williams, another broker right now. Like, how would I get credit for the sale? Like, am I considered an outside agent, or do I have to go through the referral agent so it can be referred back to me? Like, the people that I'm catching, like getting wind to and sending them like all the links for the Facebook Live, where they can do the webinar on Saturdays. Like, once they go through with their first intake and go through all their stuff, I want them to come back to me, and I want to be able to get credit and receive some type of income from, referring people back and they coming back to me. I don't want them to get lost in the sauce with another agent, and
So how
I
do you
was
do
the
that?
one referral.
How do you do that?
Well, what I actually did while I was listening to you on the phone, I went to the NACA and I actually created me account. Then I put my dad's NACA ID in it, and it came on there. And his first 3 letters of his last name. Then it pulled up. Then it was like somewhere where I can upload files to it. Hit. I think it's referral client list that I would actually click on. I believe.
Referral what?
Upload. It says
Upload
referral. Or should I be
This is what I
upload
need you to
documents?
do. This is what I need you to do. I need you to download the agent participation manual, right? And just read the instructions on how to register your client. It's that
Okay.
simple.
And that download, it'll be found in that email that was sent to me for the class today. That download. Where would I find the download at?
Okay, so do you see the go-to control panel? Right. There's the agent participation manual. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes,
Right,
I can see you.
Okay, so this is what we went over today. How to register your clients, right? This gives you the registration instructions right here, page 455, right? Or what you could do is go to YouTube channel, and this is agent registration video that you could take and just register your clients.
Yeah. Oh, So just register
Yeah.
my clients under me, then I'll get credit for that. Would that be considered an outside agent, or would that be considered a referral agent?
Right. So a referral agent is a person, because we cannot collect fees, right, if we don't have an agreement. So just because you register with the program doesn't make you a referral agent. We don't know who you are. We're not going to refer you business until you show us your ability to represent someone through the NACA program. And I don't I don't want to sound like that's kind of harsh, but when we refer someone, we want to feel confident that the agent that the person is going to use that understands the NACA program and that's going to have the ability to represent them. Does that make sense? Are you
It
following
makes
me? Right.
it makes a hundred.
So you don't have to be, and let me get this clear, right? Any agent could work with the NACA program. Any agent could work with the NACA program. You don't have to take this class to represent a NACA a member. You don't got to be approved to work with a NACA member. Any agent could work with the program. And whatever real estate commissions there is, that's between you and your broker. I want to make that abundantly clear. Now we have instructions where you could register your clients, so this way you can add them to your client list, right? But the client list is only for non-NACA members. These are people that never been to a home buyer workshop and they don't have a NACA ID number. It's those people that you'll be able to add to your client list.
Yeah. So and my dad at expert.
Let me finish.
He already has an.
Sir, let me finish. Let me finish, sir. Let me finish. Because there's other people here on the call that I want to make sure that they understand that piece. So this way I could just say it once, right? Right. So again, you don't got to be approved, right? You work with anybody you want. The client list is only for non-NACA members that you refer to the program. Now, a non-NACA member is a person that never been to a home buyer workshop and they don't have a NACA ID number. You could go ahead and add them to your client list. And that's the client list. The importance of the client list, it's going to help you keep track of your buyer's progress. So it'll let you know when they get qualified, right? Now, if you're working with somebody that already has a NACA ID number, they've already been to a home buyer workshop, they already got their NACA ID number, and they want to use you as their real estate agent, you're free to work with that buyer. You don't pay NACA any monies. That's your buyer. However, you won't be able to add them to your client list, right? But we still need you to upload that buyer representations agreement so we can make the agent assignment, so we know that you're the person's real estate agent. And that portal will give you the ability to upload your purchase contracts, because you want to make sure that you do that. Okay?
Yeah. So two things real fast, just to give you clarification. So at that point, if they already have a NACA ID, it's up to the member at that time to let me know, like, hey Corey, I'm ready to go. I got the okay. So I can't follow. All right, so cool. Is it any way on your screen real fast that you can show me how to upload that?
Go to the YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel, NACA Realtors, right?
Okay.
And there's the video there.
Okay. It wouldn't be on the upload documents, then just hit representation agreement, I guess. That's it.
Just go to Realtors and watch the video. I mean, I already did it once, and I got other people on the call that I want to make sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for answering that question, Rob.
No problem at all. You have a blessed day, sir.
Okay.
Leah Rose. Okay. Cassandra Gordon. Lashina.
I'm here.
Okay, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Okay, I have a question. So my client that I referred to you, I made a huge mistake. She already did her workshop on Saturday, and I didn't know we had to upload our agreement before she did the workshop. I just did it today. Is it too late to make her my client so
Yeah.
I can see, because she's
Oh,
older?
she's your client, but you have to get the updates from her. You
I
won't
know
be able
she's
to. Yeah,
older. Okay, so one
unfortunately.
more question. When I did this workshop before, I remember asking you, can I be a buyer and represent myself as an agent? And I am
Yes.
licensed. Okay, so when I add myself, I don't have a BBA.
Well, I don't know why would you do that. I mean, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is let your counselor know that you're representing yourself, and within the system, we'll go ahead and remove that restriction, and you'll be
Perfect.
able to do it that way. And I guess what's good about that is that you'll have your web file, and your web file will give you the same statuses. And in fact, the web file will give you more information because as soon as that appraisal comes in, you'll get notified, right? As soon as
Hmm.
the loan commitment letter, the closing disclosures, all that will be available to you in your web file.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much.
Anytime, ma'am. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, we have Elizabeth Poole. Elizabeth Poole, how are
Hi,
you?
I was just wondering how we do the Quizlet.
Okay, so what do you mean? I'm sorry,
Um,
what do you mean?
I heard it referenced earlier and I missed something. I mean, when
Oh,
I downloaded
okay,
the handout.
right, so the Quizlet, there's a link on the chat, right?
Right.
And you could take the Quizlet there.
I don't.
Just join class. On the chat, there's okay, I'm gonna do it one more time, okay? Let me go copy C and copy V. Nope, it's not working. Is it working? Yep, it did. Send to entire. Okay, so I just send you the link just now, ma'am. Hello? Okay. Chanel Watson, Elizabeth Poole, Alexis Jackson, you're self-muted.
Chanel's
Leash.
here.
Okay, hi Chanel, how can I help you?
Okay. One of my questions was answered. I just had I thought I heard you mention some refinance stipulations. So let's say the buyer is their first property, the family grows, something happened, life happens. And I know the rule is you have to sell when you move, but if it's a great property that they want to keep, do they have the ability to refinance the property just to get NACA off of it, or it's a mandatory sell?
No, there's not a mandatory sale. I mean, they can even keep the home just as long as that they're making the payments.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought maybe at some point there was a discussion about, okay, I apologize. And then I'm in a predominantly veteran community. I didn't see anything throughout the material or for you mentioning, is there any special processing rules or benefits for veterans?
No, I mean, they still get the same terms. I mean, you're getting a 2.625% interest rate,
Okay.
regardless of your credit score, right? On top of it, you get 100% financing. But the VA, you have funding fee, right? Well, with NACA, there is none. There's no closing costs. So
Okay.
there's a lot of benefits, for the veterinarians just based off on the terms and the conditions that we
And they
presently.
can use NACA separately. They don't have to use their V.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay. That's the way I'm understanding. And one last
Yes.
question. My target audience going forward would probably be to get the information out to Section 8 clients.
Perfect.
For tenants who have income, I guess issues, but housing gives them a monthly stipend and is under contract.
Right.
Is there do they qualify?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a program with it that actually is hot PHA that they call it, and where we can actually give them credit for the income that they got from the rent that they pay, right? Where we could definitely significantly lower the principal and definitely have them reach out to speak to the mortgage counselors for the particular on that program. So this way they could take advantage of it. But it's a
Okay.
great program that we have for Section 8.
Let me reiterate or just elaborate a little bit more. So just a random scenario. If the person is 100% covered by Section 8, so their rent is 100% paid, so they don't pay a portion of it because maybe they don't have a job, they have some kind of disability, etc. Let's say they are, Section 8 is giving them a $1,500 monthly voucher. Can they go through NACA being unemployed but getting the Section 8 assistance?
I would say unemployed might be an issue, but because you got to have income. Now, if it's something where they have disability, things like that, Social Security, NACA does use that income, so we could definitely work with that. But I think that question would be best answered by the mortgage counselor. I like the other person. I don't want to give you misinformation. I know we're able to do it, right?
Okay.
But the particulars of it, I'd rather have it be the mortgage counselor, having that conversation with them.
Okay,
But
and you said there's something on your website called Hot PHA?
yes. So let me see. Let me see here. Hold on one second. See if it's in there. I think it is. You go to NACA's website. Hold on. Out. NACA's website. Purchase resources.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I saw it here. This.
There it is. Okay.
Got it. So all
All
that
right.
information could be there.
I'm
Okay?
excited about that. Thank you for all of the training today. I appreciate it. That's
Thank
all
you
I
so
have.
much, man. You have a blessed day.
You too.
Okay. Elizabeth Poole. Alexis Jackson. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. Make it a blessed day, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.